Hey there gamers, and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be discussing this very interesting post from the Dreamlight Valley team. If you haven't seen it, this post was made on their Facebook, their Instagram, and everywhere where they usually share their post. They were asking us, the players, what kind of quality of life improvements we would like to see. And I think this is a really good thing to see. I hope we see more posts like this in the future. I do like it when they do the surveys where they ask us about what kind of characters or updates we would like to see. And let's be real, the game definitely does need a few quality of life enhancements or tweaks. Now, to be clear, I am going to be focusing on Twitter comments today, and we're going to be reading most of these Twitter comments. Let me know your comments in the YouTube comment section down below as well after you guys watch this video. A big reason I'm making this video and sharing this is because I want to hear from more people. I want to know what quality of life changes a majority of the people seem to be asking for. Now, I have in my reply, which we'll read in a second, I have already put the things I hear the most. And there's like 4 things there, not in any particular order, but there's 4 major things I hear pitched all the time. So if you have a different quality of life change you would like to see, let me know in the comments. With that, let's get into some of these replies. So to start things off, let's read their post here. They said, "We would love to know what quality of life improvements would make your time spent in the valley even more magical. Let us know what features or changes you'd want to see make their way into an update in the comments." So like I said, first we're going to dive into my reply here. I did reply a little bit late, but a lot of people seem to agree with this or like these quality of life pitches. So I stated, as somebody who speaks with thousands of players each week, here are the most common requests I've encountered. Number 1, add a search feature. Of course, this had to go to the top of the list because I literally hear this more than anything else. So yeah, I think this had to go to the very top. Players want a search option for furniture and wardrobe menus, allowing players to type in the name of an item. Filters are often inefficient, and more precise features would be a great quality of life fix. Now, of course, I did leave off a cooking search menu. I didn't mean to. I actually fixed this on Facebook where I replied on Facebook. But however, here on Twitch, on Twitter, I can't edit my posts. So yeah, don't worry. I meant to include food here as well. And I think if they did add a search feature for furniture and wardrobe, we would get a search feature for recipes as well. The second thing I brought up was fix memory spawns. They are too low. Now, to be clear, I don't think they're too low on everything, but just in general, I've got all of my mining memories, I've got all of my fishing memories, and I've got all of my gardening memories. But let me elaborate on this. Fixed memory spawns, they are too low, especially dried flower memories, as they are nearly impossible to get. You can't collect them if it rains, you have to hunt down the dried flowers, and even if you find dried flowers, you may get a memory 1 out of 10 times. So I know I'm not the only one that feels this way. I'm a completionist. I know a lot of people in my community are completionists. I know a lot of people that play Dreamlight Valley just want to finish the memories. But one of the biggest holdups in that process would be the dried flower memories. They are just nearly impossible to get. I've put all my flowers into the same place in each biome. So I've taken all the flowers and put them together. This makes finding my dried flowers way easier. But there are several days where I do not get dried flowers. And even when I get dried flowers, I rarely get a memory. And even when I get a memory to spawn, a lot of the times it's a coin. So I'll play every single day and I'll maybe get 1 dried flower memory to 2 a month. 1 or 2 memory fragments a month. That is crazy. I really hope they up that. Not to mention I've removed probably 5,000 to 6,000, maybe even 7,000 night thorns at this point. I don't know. I have no idea. But I'm also still missing a ton of night thorn memories. And yeah, I've removed a lot of night thorns. I don't know what's taking so long. I know I get a lot of coin memories. I know that's part of it, but I don't know. Maybe they should lower the amount of possibilities for coins, increase the amount of chances that you would get memory fragments, and just give us more dried flowers in a day. I mean, if it rains, you're not going to get any dried flowers whatsoever. If you log on and it's raining, there's no shot for that. So they definitely need to up the rates a little bit, in my opinion. And like I said, these are also complaints that I'm getting from other people, so I think a lot of people feel this way. Number 3 was improve the camera. Dreamsnaps have been a core feature of the game for a year now, yet we've seen no improvements in the camera system. Players would love sliders on the filters, an expanded free roam range, additional poses and filters, and toggles to remove villagers similar to the Touch of Magic toggle. So yeah, I think this speaks for itself. The only major change we've seen to the camera has been the ability to ride rides. And while that's kind of cool for some people, it literally does nothing for me. I never ride the rides. I'm not really interested in, riding a ride digitally. I mean, maybe getting on a ride in real life will be fun, but I don't really log on to Dreamlight Valley to like sit on the magic carpet ride and go in circles. Like, I got better things to do with my time. And we've been wanting some camera feature changes for a long time, and this is all we've gotten. Yeah, it's kind of a bummer. I mean, my chat and I were literally just talking today about how the blur in portrait mode should be optional. I mean, there's so many different things they could do to improve the camera, and we just had our 1-year anniversary on Dreamsnaps. So the fact that Dreamsnaps has been a core mechanic of the game now for over a year, and we haven't seen any improvements in the camera, it just kind of stinks. So, help us out, make the camera better, give us some sliders on the filters. I think that would be a great quality of life improvement. Give us a toggle for villagers so they stop photobombing us. It's kind of annoying to always have to fence off your biomes every time you're making a dream snap so you don't get photobombed. We shouldn't have to go through all that extra trouble. So yeah, maybe we'll get some fixes there someday. And lastly, the final thing I added here was fix furniture mode. This is more of a new issue, but definitely needs to be addressed here. There are some great features in the new furniture/decor system, duplicating items, swapping pads, etc. However, I believe the hand being permanently centered should be optional. I know this was likely locked because it helps with stability, but many players hate this new forced system. Let players decide whether they want increased stability or freedom of movement. Additionally, scroll speed needs to be adjusted as well, and the hide UI option needs to hide the hand as well. The hand is part of the UI, so hiding just a portion of the UI does nothing. So yeah, I do hope we get these extra adjustments to the furniture system, and there's just a lot of things I think that need to be tweaked with it in general, and maybe they're still trying to find a good balance for that. They were wanting to get community feedback, so I don't know. If any of these changes come to the game, I'll be excited. But I'm not just making this video today to read my recommendations. Besides, these aren't truly my recommendations. This is just the #1 things I hear from my community. I talk to hundreds of people on Twitch and on YouTube. I see a lot of comments. So these are the things I see coming up the most. Now, with that, let's take a look at what some of the other players have to say about potential quality of life changes. So here we have Daniel, and they stated, when cooking in the restaurant, the items ordered are shown in the objective tab so we don't have to scroll through every menu. Customize signs to make organization easier. Also, minor thing, alter the Owl's Toy Barn house so it does not remove pavement around it. Okay, that's pretty funny to hear. That minor thing is one of the reasons I gave a bad review to that house. So I agree with Daniel here. Yeah, definitely something I hope they change. I already talked about this in another video, so I won't go into it, but yeah. Now, the other things he said here, I totally agree with. We get asked to make these recipes, and you have to scroll through to get to them. On keyboard, it's not as bad because you can grab the mouse and scroll down to it, but on controller, you just have to go down, and it feels like it takes an eternity, and it's already time-consuming enough. Yeah, it would be really nice to have a tab for these menu items. Alicia here said, being able to move Goofy's cart outside of the realm it was in. I want to make a little market where all my purchasables are. She also stated more clothing and accessory in Scrooge's shop. Even if I already own them, it's sad to see the windows and rooms half empty. Okay, so I want to touch on both of these because these are both really nice recommendations. First off, the being able to move Goofy's cart outside of the realm it was in. I never thought about that, but it would be really, really cool to have a whole market with all of your Goofy stalls. So I really hope something like that makes it in the game. How do you guys feel about that? Secondly, the option to have more clothing accessories in Scrooge's shop, even if you already own them. I cannot agree with this more, especially with multiplayer. If I I already know I own it. If it has the red dot, I'll know it's new. If it doesn't have the little orangish or red dot, I'll know I already have it. And then I can offer it to my friends. So the fact that once you've bought all of the clothing items in the game, the fact that your Scrooge shop just comes half empty, it's just really an eyesore. Like the empty windows, walking in each day and having nothing on the left-hand side. At least for multiplayer, let us get some repeat items. That way, if I have a friend that just started the game and they're trying to get more clothing for their Dreamsnaps challenges, allow me to sell the clothing I already have. I don't understand why it is set up the way it is, and I do agree with Alicia here. Both of these are amazing changes. Let's hope we see one, if not both of them. All right, next up we have Jerica Sky, and she did say something here I thought sounded really fun. She was saying, a turn on all lights button when taking a pic, even if it's not night. So in your camera, having like a button or an option that just activates every light, I think that is a great idea, because it is kind of annoying during the day. If you place lights you want to use in your photo, you have to stop what you're doing, run over to those lights and manually activate each one of them. Also, imagine something like this with fireworks. Imagine a filter in the camera, or not a filter, but a button in camera mode that activated anything that was interactable. So it could activate lights, it could activate fireworks. This could make Dreamsnap creation so much better. And Dreamsnaps is a big thing for me, so any quality of life fixes on the camera system or Dreamsnap creation in general, is going to be very welcome. Next up, we have H here, who said, being able to change the chest color in any moment, no need to build another one new. Bigger space in chest, being able to have more than 50 items in one slot. So both of these are kind of interesting. This reminds me of Stardew Valley. If you're a Stardew Valley player, any chest you build, there's like a color wheel, and you can just change that chest's color. I've always thought in Dreamlight Valley, it's just kind of lame that you have to build a chest in a certain color, and then, you know, if you want to change your room around later, you're just stuck with all these chests that are the wrong color. You got to rebuild all of them. I don't know. If you're going to use the resources to build a big chest, you shouldn't be locked into a specific color. I wish it was more like Stardew in that aspect. You build a chest, and you can just make it whatever color you want. I've never really understood their way of doing it, where it's like, oh, you got to build a red one with these red flowers, and then if you want a blue one, you got to build it with the same resources, but with these blue flowers. I mean, I get the logic behind it, but it's just not as cozy to me because it's just so limiting. One of my favorite things in cozy games or creative games is creative flexibility. And I agree with H here. This whole storage system just really limits player expression and creativity, unless you just have like an endless supply of duped items that you can just make as many chests as you want. All right, I'm not sure if I'm saying this name right, but I believe her name was Sriliana. I could be butchering that. I don't know. But they said item search bar, so that you can search per like chair or sofa rather than just per fandom or universe and area. So I guess what they're saying is similar to what my number one request was, an item search bar, because filters just aren't really as efficient as they would like them to be. Now, this one I really like, being able to place furniture on an angle. I think everybody would love to see that. I definitely would. I'm not a big fan of the grid system. Being able to search inventory and being able to freely place items rather than snapping to an invisible grid. Now, I'm not exactly sure what they mean about the invisible grid. Maybe they just mean do away with the grid system in general and just be able to tilt and turn items, and as long as they don't intercede with each other, then we're good. However, at this point in the game, I don't know if that'll ever be a possibility, because the entire build system of Dreamlight Valley appears to be based on this grid system, and it's like the foundation of the build system in this game. So I don't know if they could really do away with it, but I would not be mad if they did. I've never been a big fan of grid systems. This one's interesting. Raylene said, having more interactions with water and pets. Water would be cool. I don't know, since we got the surfboard gliders now, I do feel like it would be cool if we could glide out on the water just for fun. Even if we couldn't place things or bring people out there, I don't know, I just want to be able to surf. That would be kind of neat. All right, we have yet another person here mentioning batch cooking. So that seems to be a popular one. A lot of people would love to see batch cooking. There's also color palette swapping for pre-made clothes. Very interesting. And this one's really fun. Allow Figaro to chase Remy. That would be really cute, actually. That would be really cute. Let's see, you know, maybe they'll add something like that one day. I would like to see more exclusive companion animations, though. And just like we were talking about earlier, Paco here mentioning something we've seen repeated a lot today. I would like an object finder on the workbench and a recipe finder when cooking. I think they're referring to what we've been seeing a lot of people talk about, which is a search feature, like a keyboard search feature where you can type in the name of the item or the recipe you want. This gets asked and requested all the time. I'm surprised it's not in the game yet. I'm sure the devs had to be aware at this point, so maybe we'll get it in an upcoming update. I think people would be so happy if we did. We will see. Reyes said, allow us to toggle the spawning of rocks, sticks, night thorns, etc. on and off. I hate constant cleanup I have to do in my valley and isle. It feels like such a huge chore. This is something I've said a lot too. And there are ways to work around this by putting all of your sticks like in the corner of a biome or something, but it's not going to fix the night thorns and the splinters of fate. And I do agree it is kind of an annoying chore. On top of that, it takes away from our item budget. Every stick counts towards the budget. It's really frustrating to deal with. So I can definitely feel their frustration there. This is something I've actually said I wanted in the game for, well, over a year now, actually. So who knows? Maybe we'll see something like that one day. I wish I'd have brought that up in my recommendations. Andre said being able to break down crafted items into materials would be awesome. It takes so many resources to make things like pathways, so if you want to redecorate, you have to start from scratch. Also, why don't paths with edges not merge with paths without? That's a good question. That would be kind of cool. I feel like they totally could work that out if they wanted to. Now, as far as being able to break things down, I have talked about this a bit. We did a tutorial video on the new time bending table breakdown system where you can transmute items. You can take like a bunch of ancient radiators and turn them into ancient gears. I was saying when they first rolled that change out that I hoped it was a precursor to a new breakdown and rebuild system. Maybe they were testing it out with the time bending table. I do hope we get something like that one day. This is something I've seen a lot of people talk about wanting, and it also circles back to the chests we were talking about earlier. Like if you make a bunch of red chests, but then you want a bunch of blue chests instead, it would be nice just to be able to decommission them so you can remake them into the color you want. So that would also fix the problem for the person that was talking about how it's frustrating to have to make different colors of each chest. Being able to break things down and reconstruct, I think, would just be a very nice quality of life change to the game. Blondie here said more touch of magic pieces of design, skirts, heels, hair accessories. Also on the topic of hair accessories, some hair bows that are attachable and detachable to add to hairstyles would be nice. That's true. I'm kind of surprised that most of the bows, I think all of the hair bows we have are just part of a hairstyle. Yet we have all these Mickey Mouse headbands. Oh, there are some bows that are attached to headbands that work, like the Jasmine headband. I think the mini headband has a bow, but yeah, some standalone bows I think would be nice to see. Hot Cocoa here said, loving the new update. Can you please revert the changes you made to furniture mode with the camera functionality, because the camera has been moving very slowly around the map compared to its previous fast pace. And this is actually something we did address in my post as well, because like I said, this is something I see all the time, and at least Dreamlight Valley did take notice of this. They said, we appreciate you sharing your feedback and we'll pass it along to our team. So that's good to see. I do hope we see some changes, at least with the speed and the hide UI, and maybe even making the hand in the center optional. Now, this one I absolutely love, and I love that they said great suggestion here. So this also references one of the ones I was talking about, which was updates to the camera feature. And Tovi here said the ability to place characters in pictures. Please, it is so hard to get a good picture with multiple characters. And of course, this comment comes on the heels of the Dreamlight Annual Celebration Challenge, where they told us in the challenge description, bring as many villagers as you can. And I'm like, do you know how annoying that's going to be? Do the devs understand how much hair is going to be pulled out because of this? Because yeah, right now the current system as it stands is not really the best for helping you navigate your characters and their animations. So yeah, a a camera feature tool that allowed for us to place villagers and have them emote and stuff like that would be so nice. I mean, imagine how much more flexible we would be with our Dreamsnap creativity that way. And here we have two more people talking about search features, both of them talking about cooking, bulk cooking here. But yeah, I think you can see just how popular the requests are for search features within Dreamlight Valley. It is a huge thing. Here it is again, a search bar, and if we could make items place diagonal. Once again, we have batch cooking. Here it is again, furniture search bar, please. The people need it more than you realize. Yeah, this is way down here and it still has 57 likes. That's, you know, yeah, I think that this is probably, like I said, #1 request. This is the first thing I put on mine. And as much as I would love to read every single one of these requests, I simply do not have the time today. So we're going to close out with these two. And be sure to put your thoughts and requests in the comments. I would love to know what all of you guys on YouTube here think. What are the changes that you would most love to see? Remember, we're talking quality of life changes. We're not talking bug fixes. We're not talking new characters. Quality of life just means things that make the gameplay flow better, that just make things a little bit faster, more efficient. So not necessarily new content updates, but quality of life fixes. We have Shelly who said, I love bringing my animal companion inside, but in the last update, that feature stopped working. It would be great to have more filters. There isn't one for Eternity. I'll say what? And a search bar in furniture mode. So once again, the search bar made its appearance. I mean, they gotta be working on it, right? I mean, everybody's asking for this. So the other thing they stated too was the animal companion thing. Now, to be clear, animal companions, I believe it was never intended for them to go inside because we actually never had the companion option in wardrobe when we were indoors. So our companion would randomly appear near us when we were inside for a couple of updates, but I think they ended up fixing that. I think that was actually a bug. With that said, why can't we bring our cat inside? We have Figaro, you know, I mean, I get it. You might not want an alligator inside, but now that we have Figaro, Gameloft, you have no right to not allow me to bring my cat inside. How dare you? I do hope that this changes, though. I really hope that we do get the option to have companions inside. It's just good for Dreamsnaps, and a lot of us like doing indoor Dreamsnaps, and companions come with all these fun poses. So as it stands right now, not being able to bring companions inside really limits indoor Dreamsnap creativity and player expression. So I hope that gets, you know, reverted, or they just end up making it a feature. Lastly, we have more wrought iron when you do Remy deliveries. Yeah, I mean, dude, I remember my second day of doing a Remy wrought iron quest, and he gave me 1 bar. I could not believe it. I could not wrap my head around that. I was like, bro, I just had 30 minutes of work and you're giving me like 1 piece? It's crazy. I don't know what they were thinking with that, but they definitely need to up that amount of wrought iron. It's super stingy. They also said more cat and dog companions. Heavily agree. We do have a cat in the game now, so I definitely think a dog would be nice. They said maybe have more than 1 companion with you at a time, since we have so many to choose from. More poses and interactions with your companions, maybe multiple companion poses. So I think that ties into what I was saying about camera functionality. I mean, we haven't had any type of camera updates, and additional poses would be part of the camera system. So yeah, I definitely think we need sliders on filters. We need more poses and borders and just all kinds of things. I think with the camera, we just need more flexibility. So yeah, I agree with everything she's saying here. And it would be cool to have more than 1 companion with you. I don't know how that would go for game stability for some of the older hardware. It could get kind of problematic if you have more than, you know, 2 or 3 maybe, but it shouldn't be that big a deal. So hopefully that'll be something added. But yeah, that's the last of them here. Again, if you want to visit these for yourself, I'll have a link to this post in the video description, and you can click on the link and you can read through some of these, but there are a lot of replies here. I mean, yeah, we have 995 comments. Now, Dreamlight Valley is probably not going to read all of those, but I bet you they will read many of them. And they got to hear about the search bar. I mean, they already know. We see people talking about the search bar like on every post. So I really do hope they add that at some point. On PC, it's not so bad because I can just use my mouse to just like quickly scroll like all the way to the bottom and find what I'm looking for. But on controller, like when I play on my Steam Deck, it's so annoying to just hold down on the analog stick and just go forever. Yeah, you can use filters, but that also isn't always the best, especially if you don't know what filters or the name of the item you're looking for it has. It's just a problem. But yeah, that's enough ranting. I just really wanted to talk about this post because this is great to see. The last time we got a lot of quality of life fixes, it was in the Monsters Incorporated update. We got some really cool quality of life changes to the game, so I'm excited to see what they do next in regards to quality of life. It's one of my favorite things to see tweaked and changed in games because it just makes the experience that much better. And I would love to hear your thoughts on quality of life fixes and features coming to Dreamlight Valley in the future. Don't forget, if you do share your thoughts here in the comments, make sure you go on Dreamlight Valley's official post and share it as well. You can find them on Facebook, you can find them on Instagram, and you can find them on Twitter. So make your voice known. Share what you would like to see come to the game, and maybe it will. If you found today's video helpful, informative, or simply entertaining, please do me a very big favor and press that like button. Also, consider subscribing for more Disney Dreamlight Valley and gaming content. Also, if you would like to watch more of my content and catch my streams live like all of these amazing people are, you can find me streaming Monday through Friday on my Twitch channel. Links to both my Twitch and Discord can be found in the video description down below. Okay, guys, you can stop putting all the blobfish in now. You're good. You guys, you did a good job, guys. You're not gonna stop. You're never gonna stop, are you? Okay. As always, thank you so much for your time today, and I hope you enjoy the future of Disney Dreamlight Valley.